It's not Monday. It will never be Monday.
But it's always macabre.
Bam, bam, bam. Okay, right off the top,
Yeah.
I gotta tell you about my chiropractor.
Hell yes, dude. Let's get into it, baby. I like it. The listener, if they started from the first season, they can hear us age as we go.
Yeah, they're like, they sound geriatric now.
Sheesh.
And I'm like, Jerry's a good friend.
Yo, geriatric, dude. I went to high school with that guy.
Dude, I went to Jerry's Atric. So, this morning, or a few weeks ago, we played basketball, which we might have talked about on the podcast. And as any geriatric men will tell you, a few days afterwards, my back was in pain.
Yes.
So, I called up my chiropractor and I was like, hey, I haven't been in a few months, but daddy's got back pain. And he's like, they always come crawling back.
He's like,
and so
oh,
he's like, come on down to Jerry's Atrix. And so I show up this morning. Only one there, right? First person there. First person
Jerry's
in.
seeing you solo right now?
Dude, Jerry literally walked out of his office, like rubbing his hands together. He couldn't wait to touch my back.
He's like licking his lips.
Yeah, I'm like, sir, please stop licking your lips.
And he's like, let me get in there.
He's like, I want to massage out all the knots. And I was like, okay, you don't sound like that. Stop licking your lips.
Please.
So he lies me down on his table, like Frankenstein's monster. And I was like, yeah, I've had a twang in my back or whatever. And he does the whole thing where he like goes up like each like spinal column thing and like pulls your legs down on the table. And he's like, all right, you're all out of whack, but like, I think this is good. I'll see you in a month. He's like, so hop up on the table. And I go to get up and my back is fucking fried, dude. It's spasming so hard. I'm at a 90-degree angle, and I cannot move. And he's like, oh, damn. And I was like, dude, you're telling me, brother, but I guess this is the best place for this to happen. So, this was like 2 hours ago, by the way, before this recording.
Good.
So
well, you don't gotta move much to record a podcast. That's what I've always said.
Right. So I moved from his little table to like a little bed they have next to it in the office. And he starts like electrotherapy in my back. And then like he's got a couple other people that he like brings in, and I'm just like lying there being electrocuted while they're just like, yeah, my shoulder's feeling funny.
Hey there, my shoulder's feeling funny.
After about 20 minutes and 3 different therapies of electro, we had an ice pack going. We did like an ultrasound on my back, and then he was like, all right, let's see if you can stand up. And I managed to stand, but I'm like hobbling because like any like fully upright movement is just like a shooting pain up my body.
Good.
And so he's like, let me walk you to your car. So like an elderly geriatric man, I hold onto his forearm and hobble through his waiting room, which is now full of people. Like I was the only one there when I got there. Half hour later, 7 like old ladies looking like in their 60s looking at me sympathetically as if I'm the like it was just bad. And so I hobble to my car. I get to my house. I get out of my car. I cannot stand up. So I'm like half crawling into my home. And then I collapse in my desk chair. And I was like, let's record the pod, baby. So here I am. So that is my wonderful story. And then
that is your hero arc.
Yes. And then to top it all off, my daycare, my children's daycare just texted being like, hey, your son's running a fever. And I was like, okay. And they're like, we don't have to get him right now. Yeah. I was like, you guys aren't, they said like, hey, we're going to monitor him a little more. Like, you don't have to pick him right now, but just heads up. And I was like, thanks for letting me know, happy to get him whenever. And then I get a notification, and you know how like notifications show you like the first line or two of a text?
Yeah.
It just says, okay, unfortunately, he didn't make it. ...
Oh, no.
And then it like continues. He didn't make it to lunch. He's on his mat sleeping now. And I'm like, could you imagine if they're being very polite about him just passing away?
Yeah, they're like,
so we got some bad news.
The daycare provider is like taking it upon himself, like time of death.
Yeah.
Like they never escalate it to a hospital. They're like, this is what we do here at a daycare.
You might want to sit down for this.
I grew up in a daycare, and it's exactly like it looks like one of those pictures of like during the Spanish flu when there's all like nurses in one of those like tents and there's just rows of beds. It's a disaster.
It looks like
dude.
MASH. It's
yes.
like a set of MASH with children running around.
Exactly like the set of MASH.
So that's been my day so far, and it's only 11 a.m. So super sick start to this Tuesday of ours.
Hell yeah, brother.
Scones, how are you doing?
Good. Just doing boring. Just bought a house. A lot of houses in New England, it's like 100 years old. So
it's haunted and old.
Yep. Doing painting, redoing floors, all that crap. Nothing exciting. Very stressful and expensive. Good
we should do
stuff.
We should become real estate agents, but specifically for haunted and old houses, because New England is full of them.
That's again, like any TV network. I know there's a strike going on right now, but if you want a reality TV show that you don't need unions for, hit us.
Hit us
for that spooky realtor job.
I'll literally do it just for like free chiropractic work.
Yes.
If you can fix my back, I will do anything you want, baby.
Sheesh.
That's an open letter to any listener.
That's an open letter. Yeah. Yes.
I want a listener to be like, yeah, I got you, and then like tie me up in their basement and just like wail on me like a punching bag.
Oh, they stretch
until my back is like fixed. I don't care.
Dude, the back is a flawed design, I'll say it.
Especially if you're tall, dude. They really didn't account for height when they made the back.
Well, when humans evolved, they were probably like 5'2", so
yeah, and then I ate them all and became
pushing
a big
the
boy.
boundary. Do you ever think about how like we're both over like 5'8", so our like life expectancies cut pretty sharp? Like, tall people don't live very long.
Yeah, I mean,
and when I say don't live very long, I mean relative to like we're not gonna.
Are you 6 feet, Scones?
Yes, but Darce, me and you are not making it to 100. I'll tell you that right now.
No, also like I'm not left-handed, but like I do some things left-handed, and I feel like sometimes that's a thing where people are like, "Oh, you're just gonna die earlier."
Left-handies die, dude.
Isn't that true? Like left-handed, or maybe it's right-handed. I don't know.
Left-handed people die.
I thought they die earlier.
Left-handed
because they're freaks and.
Oh wow!
What is it? What'd you find,
dude? It's bad.
If you're left-handed, you might want to skip this part.
Let's just say you're going to be in a bed in a daycare soon, because it is not great. So
what are we looking at? What's the diagnosis, doctor?
I'm seeing the average of a right-handed person. The average age is 75.
Okay, standard. That's what everyone assumes. Yeah.
Left-handed
42.
66.
Whoa. It's like a decade difference?
Yeah.
That's bananas.
Oh, but I'm also seeing there's like issues with these stats.
Okay, great.
Like
no, Scones, you're supposed to keep that part out. You're supposed to say, some people say.
Well,
some
the
people
big thing
claim.
is older people, like back when you grew up in like the terrible, like fuck the 50s time, like you were like forced to write right-handed because they were like left-handed people are like mentally ill. So
well, yeah.
I think it's more that like just older people tend to be right-handed because they were forced to.
If you are left-handed and not in a state penitentiary, you need to turn yourself in.
You're a problem.
You're a
society.
Menace.
You're
a menace.
A growth on human. The rest of us humans are trying to move forward.
What if we started like an Andrew Tate style like mission to let people know, but this is like what we're very like. Yeah, that's our whole talking point. Lefties is like left-handed people.
If you want to get lefties, dude, you got to be terrible to them. Okay.
Like right hand, that would be. Oh man,
it's the job of the lefty to die early. Okay, it's just natural.
Dude, right is right, bro.
Sheesh. Call ourselves the alt-righties. Skeleton Band just gave a thumbs up, dude.
I don't know. He kind of like, and then it was like a wink. I don't know what that's supposed to be.
I didn't even know skeletons can wink.
Yeah, well, he went geeker, and his whole bone structure moved.
Dude, how do you think the Skeleton Band maintains their back? Like that drum player? I can see the issues there.
Well, the xylophonist is just another skeleton, so he's probably...
he's playing at ribs.
once your back is so far gone that you can only be a 90-degree angle, you become the xylophone.
That's beautiful.
And that's the circle of life. All right, Scones, we're at 10 minutes. We should probably...
Today we're talking about Arne Johnson, the man who killed his landlord, and then said the devil made him do it.
Okay, skeleton band.
Band.
His name was Arne Johnson, right?
Or Arne Johnson, Arne, but I'm going to say Arnie because it's more fun. We got an article from All That's Interesting from your homies. Couple of Hall of Fame article writers here. Marco Margaretov, edited by John Karofsky.
Oh my God, dude. Literally hit makers.
Absolutely. Yeah, dude. They're like fucking DJ Snake, dude. Only bangers. Certified bangers only.
Certified article bangers.
On February 16th, 1981, a 19-year-old Arne Cheyenne Johnson stabbed his landlord, Alan Bono, to death with a pocket knife.
Pogger.
Then said the devil made him do it.
Okay.
Dude, I'm not saying I'm thinking about doing this, but I've had some real issues with my landlords recently.
You're saying the quiet part loud right now, brother.
What do you say?
You're saying the quiet part loud right now? What?
Sheesh.
What's going on with your landlord?
They're just being assholes. I'm trying to tell them I'm moving out, and I've
I'm gonna tell them
and emailed them like so many times, and the devil's starting to creep in, dude. Because
I've been seeing the writing on the wall, baby.
They needed 60 days notice for me to move out, but they won't respond or say that they got my message, so they're just pushing the date off. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna have to get legal action because you're terrible at your job. So basically, my landlord, fuck them, fuck this place. And yeah, if you ever want a place not to live, DM me and I'll tell you.
I'll give you a list
go
of
to this
one
apartment where I
to
live. It sucks ass and it's terrible. I hope the whole place gets turned into a different place. Anyway, the 1981 murder of Alan Bono appeared to be an open and shut case in Brookfield, Connecticut. To the police, it was clear that the 40-year-old landlord had been killed by his tenant, Arne Johnson, during a violent argument.
Dude, the 40-year-old landlord, I love Steve Carell.
Sheesh.
Yeah,
dude.
Anyway,
all the TVs on the wall. But after his arrest, Arne Johnson made an incredible claim. The devil made him do it. Aided by two paranormal investigators, the 19-year-old's attorneys presented their client's claim of demonic possession as a potential defense for his murder of Bono.
If that is a defense you can use in court, we should have law degrees. We would be so good at being lawyers if we're like, it was the fucking devil, bro.
Dude, you heard
Listen, my client would never do it. It was the devil. Come on, let him off.
Opening argument is, our client was forced to do this by the devil. Ever heard of him?
There's a man downstairs. Ever heard of him?
It is negligent by this court that they have not brought that psycho to justice. The devil has been had a too
Why
good
are we
for too long.
spending taxpayer dollars on my client when the devil?
The courts have dealt with the existence of God, said Johnson's attorney, Martin Minella. Now they're going to have to deal with the existence of the devil.
The devil.
The devil. The devil.
The devil.
So, oh man, those. It was the first time in history that a defense like this one was used in an American courtroom. Nearly 40 years later, Arne Johnson's case is still shrouded in controversy.
It's a pretty dog shit defense, I'll be honest.
Well, I don't know, dude. We live in a... You say that, but we live in a country that is mostly Christian and like a large... like part of the population genuinely believes in the devil.
That's true, but I don't think anyone's... Well, here's the thing. What's funny. People will be like, I believe in the devil, but once you bring it to a court of law, it's like, no, you don't. Like,
I don't know, dude. You can literally pull up like infomercials from like the Midwest saying that don't let your kids play Pokemon, it's the work of the devil.
Well, yeah, but that's because it is. I mean, that's just truth. I don't know why you're arguing fact.
Bulbasaur evolving into Ivysaur? Sounds like leftist propaganda to me.
Yeah. The Johto region is only 1,000 years old.
Listen.
So
nearly 40 years later, Arne Johnson's case is still shrouded in controversy and unsettling speculation. It is also the inspiration for the film The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. So one of those bad Conjuring sequels.
Yeah, one of the ones that they did for money only.
On February 16th, 1981, Arne Cheyenne Johnson stabbed his landlord, Alan Bono, to death with a 5-inch pocket knife, committing the first murder ever recorded in the 193-year history of Brookfield, Connecticut. So he's just looking to make his mark, dude.
Yeah.
Before the murder, Johnson was, by all accounts, a regular teenager with no criminal record. He's just a regular guy,
He's just a regular guy talking to the devil with pocket knives.
He was on the football team. He was a good guy.
He's a nice boy. He went to church.
But the strange occurrences that ended in the murder allegedly began months earlier. In Johnson's courtroom defense, he claimed that the source of all this suffering started with the 11-year-old brother of his fiancée, Debbie Glatzel.
Deb?
Tall Debbie?
His cousin Debbie?
In the summer of 1980, Debbie's brother David claimed that he'd repeatedly encountered an old man who would taunt him. At first, Johnson and Glatzel thought David was just trying to get out of doing chores and dismissed the story entirely. Nonetheless, the encounters continued, growing both more frequent and more violent. David would wake up crying hysterically, describing visions of a man with big black eyes, a thin face with animal features, and jagged teeth, pointed ears, horns, and hoofs.
It's a lot of stuff.
Before long, the family asked a priest from a church nearby to bless their home, to no avail. That priest fucking blew it. Talk about a shitty blessing, dude.
Yeah. They're like, do you think you get... Okay, first of all, do you pay a priest to come and exercise your... You know what I mean? Like, do you pay for that service?
Right? That seems like... Isn't the whole... I don't know, dude. Isn't the whole point of the church is like they...
No, the whole point of the church is money.
That's true.
Real is kind of money.
They are swagged out in gold all over the place. So they hope the paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren could lend a hand. Ever heard of them?
Uh-oh.
We're bringing in the pros, dude. The Warrens are in.
The Warren Commission.
Sheesh.
Sheesh.
He would kick, bite, spit, swear. Terrible words, David's family members said of his possession. He experienced strangling attempts by invisible hands, which he tried to pull from his neck, and powerful forces would flop him rapidly, head to toe, like a ragdoll.
He got flopped?
Dude, he got flat.
Flapped.
He got flopped so hard, dude, rapidly.
Damn, bro.
Arne Johnson said, imagine, sounds like what that chiropractor did to you, dude.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I've been flopped by the devil like 2 hours ago.
He got you with his invisible hands, flopped you head to toe.
And very, very visible hands as well.
Arne Johnson stayed with the family to help however he could. But disturbingly, the child's nightly terrors began to sleep into the daytime as well. Began to seep into the daytime. That makes much more sense.
Oh, yeah.
David described seeing an old man with a white beard dressed in a flannel shirt and jeans.
That combo.
Oh my God. I think I've seen that guy too. An old man with a white beard, flannel shirt, and jeans. I've seen that guy at every place I've ever stopped in New Hampshire.
I was gonna say, yeah. Every like rickety little like farmer store thing in New Hampshire is that guy.
That guy is eating currently at every Crate and Barrel you've ever been to. And as the child's visions continued, suspicious noises began emanating from the attic. Meanwhile, David started hissing, having seizures, and speaking in strange voices while quoting John Milton's Paradise Lost and the Bible.
Pog.
Reviewing the case, the Warrens concluded that this was clearly a case of demonic possession. However, psychiatrists who investigated the case after the fact claimed that David merely had a learning disability.
Okay.
Darcy, you ever been trying to focus on your math test and you start just having seizures and quoting Paradise Lost? Because
it's do you call in the school, the guidance counselor to like be like, all right, let's go for a walk or whatever?
He's just acting out.
Yeah, it's just every kid goes through it. It's a phase.
I like that the psychiatrist really lowballed it. For a kid having like full-blown psychosis.
Right.
They were like, you just can't read good.
Yeah, it might be left-handed. I don't know. Fucking, you got me.
Why even do anything? He's going to die soon anyway. He's left-handed.
Yeah, what, he's already like 12, 19, 18, whatever he is. It's like 30, 40, 50% out the door.
The Warrens claim that over the course of 3 subsequent exorcisms, overseen by priests, David levitated, cursed, and even stopped breathing. Perhaps even more astonishingly, David allegedly predicted the murder that Arne Cheyenne Johnson would eventually commit. That's a crazy case of dyslexia, Darce.
Dave's Lexus.
Come on down.
You can't read.
Route 1, the Auto Mile. By October 1980, Arne Johnson started taunting the demonic presence, telling it to stop bothering his fiance's brother. Take me on. Leave my little buddy alone, he cried.
Little buddy is
my little buddy Dave.
Leave my little buddy alone.
Leave my little buddy alone. He just don't like math, okay?
Hey.
As a source of income, Arne Johnson worked for a tree surgeon, which I read that right.
I read that right.
I promise you. It says tree surgeon.
That's sick, dude.
So you know what? You have a beautiful, beautiful oak in your backyard, and it blows out its knee. Yeah. You gotta call in a tree surgeon.
Lumberjacks are quack doctors. You need a tree surgeon.
I don't know if that's supposed to say tree surgeon, because it does not explain further.
Because it makes no fucking sense.
The two were purportedly friendly and often met up near the kennel, where Johnson sometimes even calling in sick to work in order to do so. So, Bono had a kennel, and Arnie was a tree surgeon.
Did you make this story up? Is this a
Mad
certified
Libs?
made-up banger? Yeah. This feels untrue.
I don't know, dude. I had to double check like that my eyes worked. I might have a learning disability. I might be flopping around.
Sheesh. We flopping. We rolling.
But on February 16th, 1981, a vicious argument broke out between them. At around 6:30 p.m., Johnson suddenly drew out a pocket knife and attacked Bono.
Sick.
Bono was stabbed multiple times in the chest and stomach and then was left to bleed to death.
Uh-oh.
Police arrested Johnson an hour later, and they said that the two men had simply been fighting over Johnson's fiancée, Debbie. You know, tall Debbie.
It's not tall Debbie? Short Debbie?
No, that's his cousin Debbie.
His cousin.
Debbie? But the Warrens insisted that there was more to the story. So he stabs him. Everyone's like, it's over Debbie. But then Lorraine Warren kicks in the door and she's like, Debbie's got nothing to do with it.
It ain't Debbie at all.
Trust me, it ain't Debbie. At some point
Sorry,
prior to the murder, Johnson had allegedly investigated a well in the same area where his fiance's brother claimed to have experienced his first encounter, with the malicious presence wreaking havoc on their lives.
Okay.
The Warrens warned Johnson, don't go near that well. But he did anyway.
Hey,
perhaps to see
Johnson.
if the demons truly took over his body after he had taunted them. Johnson later claimed that he saw a demon hiding within the well who possessed him until after the murder. That's horrifying. If you look down a well and there's something down there that climbs up.
Yeah, fuck that.
There's like an old Cracker Barrel guy that just climbs up wicked fast and gets in you.
Not a Cracker Barrel guy.
I don't want a Cracker Barrel well guy in me.
I don't want a Cracker Barrel well guy in me.
Listen. You can either have dyslexia or
teacher.
There's a Cracker Barrel well guy in you.
That's the rules.
There's no in between.
No in between. Them's the rules. Sorry, sweetie.
Though authorities investigated the Warrens' claims of haunting, they stuck with the story that Bono was simply killed during an altercation with Arne Johnson over his fiancée. You know, Debbie.
Oh, Tall Debbie?
So let's get to the trial. Too tall. Arnie Johnson's attorney, Martin Manella, tried his best to enter a plea of not guilty by reason of demonic possession.
Okay.
He even planned to subpoena the priests who allegedly attended the exorcisms, urging them to break tradition by speaking about their controversial rites. Over the course of the trial, Manella and the Warrens were routinely mocked by their peers, who saw them as profiteers of tragedy. They have an excellent vaudeville act, a good road show, said mentalist George Krejci, maybe is how you pronounce that. I don't care. It's just the case involves more clinical psychologists than it does that. Judge Robert Callahan ultimately rejected Manella's plea. Judge Callahan argued that a defense would be impossible to prove and that any testimony on the matter was unscientific and thus irrelevant. The collaboration of 4 priests during the 3 exorcisms was never confirmed, but the Diocese of Bridgeport acknowledged that priests worked on helping David Glatzel during a tough time. The priests in question, meanwhile, were ordered not to speak on the matter publicly. That's sketchy, though.
Yeah. I think it goes straight to the top, dude.
You think so? You think we gotta put on our chrono visor and see what happens?
Yeah. I think we gotta. We're gonna take this one to the chrono store and see what we can find.
Do you think if anyone go back and listen to the most recent 2 episodes, if you don't know what I'm about to say, if what I'm about to say makes no sense, but do you think, Darts, if you use the chrono visor inside the Integratron, that your head would explode?
Dude, I think you'd become at least a demigod
for sure.
You could probably go really fast.
Dude, you'd go really fast. You'd feel sick. There'd be old ladies there telling you what happened a long time ago. It would be the dream.
Yeah, that sounds dope. New goal unlocked in my life.
New goal.
New goal. Let's go. Hey, you want to go to the desert with me and see the Integratron and grab a chronovisor?
So badly.
We'll document the whole process in our documentary. Chronotron. Integravisor. One of those 2. I think Chronotron. But
yeah, I kind of like Chronotron. Although it sounds like a time machine.
We should change the name of the podcast. Just on a whim.
Chronotron.
No
one from the church has said one way or the other what was involved, said Reverend Nicholas Greco, a diocese spokesman. And we declined to say.
Greco said it, dude?
Dude, Greco. Cool guy.
Nicky Greco.
And then he said, and we declined to say. So what a cheeky little thing. He's like, no one has been saying what happened. And I still won't.
And I won't do it.
It's me, Greco.
Greco.
But Johnson's lawyers were permitted to examine Bono's clothing. The lack of any blood, rips, tears, they argued, could help support the claim of demonic involvement. However, no one in the court was convinced. Come on, court. Come on. So Johnson's legal team opted for self-defense plea. Ultimately, Arnie Johnson was convicted of first-degree manslaughter on November 24th, 1981, and sentenced to 10 to 20 years in prison. He would only serve 5.
Sick.
So, not great. If this guy genuinely saw all that shit, I don't think he got the psychiatric help he needs 5 years in prison.
Dude, you'd be surprised. Great for your mental
The American prison system.
Nothing better than the American prison complex for your mental health. It's like Calm before Calm existed.
Ooh. You just go in and you hear Nick Offerman reading you a bedtime story.
Yeah, that's
and you're like, wow, my learning disability's cured.
That sounds like every story we talk about, it's not a great ending.
Nope.
Speaking of not great endings,
it's not even over.
Have to wrap this up. Oh, it's not over?
Sure ain't, dog. We have to talk
I gotta go pick up my son with a fever, dude.
Oh, no.
They messaged being like, you gotta come get him.
Well, basically, it inspired The Devil Made Me Do It. There you go. Have fun listening.
There we go. Check out MondayMorningWithCom.com. And I'm sorry I have to cut this out right now because I gotta go get my son. But I hope you guys like Nicky Greco.
Nicky Greek.
And my bad on this, but okay. Gotta go.
Have a good night.
Bye.